All right, my friends, another Cricket Spine Show podcast with interview Dr. Mike here. Let's understand exactly who he is, and what he does, how he helps our world be healthier. So, Dr. Mike understands the habits needed to stay in Olympic shape. He's done this, has records we'll talk about in a second too, as Olympian, along with training other athletes for Olympic athletes too. He understands a rather new study for, especially for us now that we, as the normal public, has an applicate and actually how to apply it to our daily lives to have peak performance for our daily life and handle our daily stress. So let's listen to Dr. Mike explain what molecular hydrogen is and how it benefits our health. So Dr. Mike, take it over. And I want to understand, how do you get into this in the first place? What was your need or desire?
Yeah, obviously, I'm in the healthcare area, but at the same time, as you mentioned to your listeners, I'm very competitive and I continue to be in sports. So in sports and in healthcare, we're always looking for the best and the edge in healthcare, right? Because there's many conditions that our clients suffer from that there's really no hope. And so what we do is we're really looking for things that can give our patients hope again. And so lately, I've been really getting my expertise in what's labeled biohacking. It's upgrading the body, the mind, and life, objectively reversing biological age. And it can be applicable to cancer patients, patients with neurodegenerative conditions such as, dementia, Alzheimer, Parkinson's, MS, etc., but also on the other spectrum, top athletes, because it's about getting to that next level, overcoming obstacles, overcoming diseases, and get to that next level. And so, I'm sure you and I are on the same thought, is we are the ones that need to look for the best things out there and not just look at conventional medicine. Obviously, we need conventional medicine to survive, but what else can we do to synergize with those treatments to get our patients more hope? And so that's what we've been doing. And molecular hydrogen.
We're looking
Yep,
at solutions for people beyond medications, beyond
correct.
beyond cancer treatment, beyond cortisone shots. How do we help our patients get better naturally and actually live a healthier quality of life? Correct?
Yes, 100%.
Well, that's the plan. And explain to me, actually, how does hydrogen therapy, how does that work from molecular level, chemical level?
Yes. Well, first we need to understand what molecular hydrogen is, right? So it's basically two hydrogen atoms in a covalent bond. But let's not get into chemistry today.
Good.
So, we got over 2,400 published studies right now, many human studies, double-blind studies. And what they show is that it has a positive effect on over 170 diseases or medical conditions. But many of those studies also really go into the mechanics, the physiology on what it does on a cellular level. And that's where I think we can talk a little bit about, because your molecular hydrogen, it's the smallest molecule that we know, and it's the lightest element in the universe. And so why is that important? During COVID, we all heard about, antioxidants. We heard about them before, but we really got an emphasis on vitamin C, vitamin D, selenium, zinc, and we need to take that stuff, right? Because we know that antioxidants neutralize free radicals, and free radicals are those, unstable atoms or molecule fragments that can wreak havoc on a cellular level and even a DNA level, right? And so most people heard about antioxidants coming from fruits, vegetables, vitamin C, and those things. And what they do, obviously, they donate an electron to a free radical to neutralize it. And that's why antioxidants are important. But what most people don't know is that all these antioxidants, vitamin C, D, etc., they are charged. They are larger and they are charged, and therefore they cannot cross the cell membrane and enter the cell. Now, hydrogen is so small and it is not charged. It easily, without any problem, can enter a cell. So it can enter the cell and protect our mitochondria, our DNA, our proteins, and anything else inside the cell. So while vitamin C and the other vitamins, neutralize free radicals outside the cell, hydrogen is the only element that can neutralize free radicals inside the cell. And that's where we start to see many benefits from hydrogen. So it's, number one, a very powerful antioxidant that protects the things inside the cell. For example, if we think about, one of the worst conditions that we can have, cancer, right? Mm-hmm. What is cancer? Cancer is a mutation of our, of our DNA and our mitochondrial DNA. Mm-hmm. And what causes this mutation, right? It's the free radicals, the hydroxyl free radicals inside the cell. Now, there's plenty of studies out there, and you can refer to them on our website, Hydrogen.Can, under the research page. But what these studies show is that molecular hydrogen has a selective oxidative target. It does the antioxidant, or neutralizes it selectively. So it targets these hydroxyl free radicals inside the cell. And when it does that, then the cell doesn't mutate, and we basically contain tumors. We suppress tumor development just by getting hydrogen in our body. So I would say antioxidant power of hydrogen is unique in that it can enter the cell. Number two, most of your patients and most healthcare professionals believe, and it's true, that systemic inflammation is the cause of over 90% of all disease. Huge. And again, when we look at those studies, it becomes very clear that molecular hydrogen, has a very strong anti-inflammatory effect. And so that's what it does when we talk about chronic pain conditions or any other inflammatory disease. Hydrogen can contain that because it does increase our NRF2 pathway. And as a doctor, you know what it means. It decreases all the cytokines in our body, all the interleukins in our body. And that's what the research shows. So we got a great antioxidant effect. We got a great anti-inflammatory effect. And besides that, because it can enter the mitochondria, it gives us clean energy. So when you're a performer, when you're an athlete, you're going to recover much faster, less fatigue, remove lactic acid faster from the muscles, etc., etc. So research shows that has an effect on over 170 diseases right now, and the research keeps on piling up on a daily basis. So it's one of those very safe, no adverse reactions, things that we can do simply on a daily basis in our home that can improve our condition enormously. And again, it's not meant to replace conventional medicine, because what we have seen with cancer patients and our HydroHeal units is that it basically increases the clinical outcome. It synergistically works with the chemotherapy and the chemo drugs. It reduces the adverse reactions from those treatments, and it increases the patient tolerance and the compliance. So again, it works very, very hand in hand, and it gives those patients hope for a better outcome.
It almost makes it sense where you're saying that your body works more efficiently to take out the trash, but also accept things that actually let things absorb faster, so your body can be more efficient to handle the stress of your just life.
You said it great, because you talked about trash, and we know about senescent cells and autophagy, right? So our body has those dead cells that need to be regenerated. And again, plenty of research to indicate that it stimulates autophagy, right? Getting rid of the dead cells and regenerating cells, but also it's anti-apoptosis. So when we talk, for example, about cancer treatments, we know that the chemotherapy, all our cells are programmed to die, right? But chemotherapy obviously stimulates that because it targets all the cells. So what hydrogen or molecular hydrogen has shown in these studies, that it's very selective, and it's able to protect the normal cells while the chemotherapy attacks the cancerous cells. And that obviously gets better results, and also that's why it doesn't get those bad side effects from the chemo, because it's able to protect the normal cells. And so, yes, you brought that up very eloquently. It does stimulate autophagy, and it is anti-apoptosis. So it protects those normal cells.
And besides cancer and disease and conditions like that too, the normal person who isn't in that sickness phase of life yet, or hopefully never get to, how does help someone just function on a daily basis? And go over that. And also with an athlete, you mentioned a lot of people that they work with celebrities. How does that help them become a better, a healthier person for a higher state of health?
Yeah, excellent question, because again, luckily I'm not diagnosed with any disease and I'm doing good, but I do, inhale the molecular hydrogen for an hour on a daily basis, and I drink the molecular hydrogen water. So why do I do it? Again, prevention, right? Think about anti-inflammation, neutralizing those free radicals, protecting the mitochondria, the DNA in my cells, and be able to produce clean energy from those mitochondria. I'm going to perform at a higher level, physically, mentally, etc., right? So it's all those things: higher performance, better performance, reversing your biological age, which is biohacking, and upgrading that body and mind. And then we can talk about longevity, because if we continue to renew and protect and get rid of dead cells and regenerate cells, then obviously now we're talking about longevity, because we all want to live longer, not just longer chronologically, but mostly quality of life, enhancing that quality of life.
And that's the thing. A lot of it is people sometimes don't want to live longer because they understand they've been told actually is as you live longer, there's a better chance of getting cancer, of getting diseases, of having osteoporosis, of having a lifetime injury for one too. So you're giving someone a chance. Hey, this is not the only path. Let's find a different path for you by taking some action to get you to your body to take the trash a second ago, but also so your mind and body stays healthy the whole time and doesn't age too quickly, and over time actually becomes younger, because if you are sick, I'm assuming that point it helps the body return to a better state of health too, correct?
Yes, no, it's 100%. Everybody's always focused on that chronological age, right? Our birth date. And it's totally irrelevant, because we all know people that are 60, 65 and they're in and out of the hospital and they look like 90 and they have a whole list of medications and diagnosis. And then we know the 90-year-old that is still walking around the neighborhood playing 9 holes of golf and is 100% fine. So again, chronological age doesn't matter. It's biological age. How young is your body? How do you feel? What's your quality of life? Where do you find fulfillment? And so that's exactly what this biohacking is about. This is exactly what hydrogen can help you do, is improving that quality of life, upgrading that body and that mind, and preventing disease.
How does it help the mind?
Well, that's a great question, because we talked about cancer a little bit, but the other big class of people that we really give hope and help is the neurodegenerative diseases. So we're talking about dementia, Alzheimer, Parkinson's, MS, memory conditions, ADHD, whatever is there. It helps them tremendously, because we already explained it's the smallest molecule. It easily can cross the blood-brain barrier. We know that supplements and many other antioxidants cannot cross the blood-brain barrier, right? But not only does it cross the blood-brain barrier, it then easily can enter those brain cells, and it's the same effects in our body. It's going to protect the mitochondria, increase the energy levels. It's going to fight the oxidative stress within inside the brain cells, and have a tremendous effect that we have not seen anywhere else by just inhaling that molecular hydrogen in this case.
And also too, beyond, if someone is on medications for one too, and a lot of deaths occur, as you know, every day almost, from adverse reactions from medication combinations. Does it have any effect with that too, with other medications people have, maybe natural or prescribed medications?
It doesn't interact with any medications. Again, it's 100% natural. It's 100% safe too, because we can't do too much, right? Because people say, oh, should I inhale it all night long or 1 hour or 2 hours? The fact of the matter remains that if your body is saturated with hydrogen, the excess is you exhale the excess. So there is no such thing as too much molecular hydrogen, right? Because your body saturates and then it starts exhaling it. So we want to saturate our body. We want to have as much hydrogen in our body as possible to have an effect on a cellular and a DNA level. And we know we got 30 to 60 trillion cells in our body.
Well, part of it too is that our body is very, very intelligent. When you give it something that's natural, like hydrogen, everything that I know of bonds with hydrogen per se. It's a positive one cation for one. Also, it's something where it's natural in your environment. So why not use it to help your body stay healthy? And you mentioned it's safe also. How does it apply it? How do you detail? Can you detail how you actually get hydrogen in your body faster or efficiently?
Well, yeah, there's two common ways of practically getting hydrogen in your water. Is hydrogen water, which most people know about, and most studies have been done with hydrogen water. But the unique thing about HydroHeal and some of the other application methods today is inhalation of hydrogen gas or molecular hydrogen. And that's kind of, let's do a little bit of math and we'll keep it simple. So there's different units, obviously, but the unit I have it's called an H600, HydroHeal 600. What it means is there's a flow rate of 600 mLs or cc's. It's the same thing, mlcc, right? So it produces 600 mLs per minute. Now, only 4% of that is 99% pure hydrogen, right? So in a minute, I'm actually getting 25 mLs or 25 cc's of pure hydrogen. Now, if I would have to drink that, I would have to drink over 100 gallons of water, right? So you can see how the inhalation is far more effective and quicker in saturating your body with hydrogen. So even though the studies have been done with molecular hydrogen water, Now we have the inhalation, so we can get those results much faster, in a faster time than drinking the water. And it saturates, again, we were just talking about neurodegenerative. If we inhale it, it immediately, enters those end plates, enters the brain immediately just by inhaling that hydrogen, and gets an immediate effect on the brain and the brain cells.
That's why it means one thing a lot with vitamins too, right? A lot of people take vitamins, but what do you take? I take the Costco brand, the Sam's brand. The problem is the absorption rate is so low, you're wasting your money. So you do it more efficiently, like you're saying, exactly, that allows your body to actually absorb it faster, more efficiency. And how long would you do the inhalation of the hydrogen for? What's your time frame normally for patients or clients?
On a daily basis, you mean?
Yep, daily basis.
Yeah, it kind of depends, it depends on the equipment you have, because again, some equipment will produce 600 cc's or mLs per liter. Others will produce 300, and medical grade ones would produce 3,000. So it depends on the equipment you have, right? Number one. But number two, we also got to understand that, there's a saturation point, in the body, which is approximately 2 mLs per liter. So with our clients, we make a simple, quick calculation based on the equipment that they purchase and based on what they want to achieve, on how long they would have to be doing the treatment on a daily basis. You also got to understand that when you have cancer, when you have the neurodegenerative disease, you want to be on it much longer. You want to just, get that hydrogen in your water, because we know in your body, because when it saturates, it's used pretty quickly. So we basically want to continuously be on it. When you're somebody like you and I that are quote unquote disease-free, we want to do prevention. So me personally, I inhale, 1 hour per day, but it just those 2 little things up the nose. It's not a mask or anything like that. So I do it while I'm working, while I'm watching TV, while I'm doing some paperwork. I put it on, put it in. And again, it's not something that I have to carve out time for. I just do it while I'm working, right?
Well, then, how big are the machines? I've never seen them before. How are the machines? Pretty big? Are they portable? Convenient?
Yeah, they're portable. They almost don't weigh anything. They're kind of a foot and a half tall, and a foot wide. So it just this little box. It's very lightweighted. I put it next to me on the coffee table in the couch. When I watched yesterday, I watched the NBA Finals game too, right? Boston did it again, but so that's when I did the inhalation more than an hour, because the game took a little bit longer. But I just put it right next to me, put it up my nose, and then this particular HydroHeal equipment also does produce the water, right? So I make the water too, because I'm going to drink water all day anyway. So now, not why make it molecular hydrogen water?
Good. And that's the biggest thing is we're gonna do things in our daily life anyways. Making feed for someone to have to go to a center all the time and get it done there. You do it at home. People are more compliant to actually do the therapy and see that. I mean, in big term, is see the benefit of the therapy also, correct?
Yes.
That's
I mean, some people feel the benefits immediately when it comes more energy, less pain, because there's less inflammation, whatever's going on. People that have more things going on obviously get a faster, like, oh, I feel better, I sleep better, or I went to the gym and I pushed a lot more weight. I don't know why, right? So those are the feedback that we get. But that's exactly, it has a pretty vast and quick effect on many of our clients.
Age limit also too?
Say what?
Is there an age limit?
No, there's no age limit. No, as long as we're breathing, this will work.
Good. That's the biggest thing. It's natural. It's safe for any age for one too. It helps people overall feel better and be better. Have you seen anything to where you mentioned published studies for one too, and you've done your books? Why did you write the books?
Why do you write my books? Well, again, it's getting the word out. It's getting the word out. It's helping people and reach as many people as you can, right? So obviously, now that social media is much stronger than 10 years ago, I don't know if it's worth writing a book and actually printing one anymore, right? But I just like to help people make things simple, right? Because the research on this is not always simple, but we want to simplify things for our clients, make sure they understand why this is beneficial, give them hope that yes, we can do more for the cancer, the neurodegenerative disease, the Alzheimer, the Parkinson's, the dementia. And here is something simple and safe that you can do at home without any medical supervision, without any monthly costs or anything like that. It's just a one-time purchase. And again, HydroHeal is great in the sense that they're very unique. They have third-party payment plans, but they also have subscriptions. And for as low as $140 per month, you can get that hydrogen into your system on a daily basis.
And that's it makes it where if you're going to be healthy, do you want to be healthy now before even I'm saying for people that are not sick, or do you want to wait till you're sick to where now you're spending thousands of dollars? How many seniors that I know of that become bankrupt because they're spending so much money on just medications, surgeries,
Exactly.
and just seeing and getting therapies done?
They
It's
can't
just
they can't even afford their medications, right? And then they got to go to, to other means. But yes, it's about prevention, and for those people that are already suffering, it's about resolving it. And um, we don't use the word cure, but we use the word, we need to optimize. We need to self-optimize our body, right? And we need to look at the body as a whole. Somebody with lung cancer, we just don't want to focus on the lungs. We want to do whatever we can, but we need to get the good stuff in our body. Because I still believe today that nothing cures. I don't believe drugs cure. I don't believe, surgeries or injections cure, or food or supplements. I believe only the body can heal itself. It's up to us to put the body in the correct or in the right conditions and give it the right tools so that it can do its job. And so hydrogen is one of those things that will give the body so many options and so many tools and so many opportunities to balance itself and get back to homeostasis and get back to normal functioning, right?
you're
And
talking like a
so,
chiropractor, Dr. Mike.
hmm?
You're talking like a chiropractor. That's what chiropractor talks about people, you know?
Oh, is that right? There we go. Balance, right? You're the spine doctor, so
Everything's there, but it's that's the healing theory of life, which is true, obviously, for thousands of years. That I think medicine is kind of get that down more, suppress that down. How has the FDA looked at molecular hydrogen? How does that FDA process work?
with hydrogen.
Yeah,
Well,
how have they responded to it, or put their 2 cents in with molecular hydrogen or medicine, the medicine paradigm? How have they responded or reacted to it?
Well, it's a medical gas, but and we all know hydrogen to be, when we look at the rocket launches and stuff like that, it's something explosive, and it could be explosive if it's above 4.5% concentration. So the units that are made go up to about four. Our unit goes about 4.3%. So it's 100% safe, and so really there's never been any side effects. Again, there's no such thing as an overdoses. There's no such thing as side effects, because physiology says that when there's a saturation, we exhale it. And when we do too much, we're just wasting our time, but there's no side effect, right? So, again, also companies like this doesn't really go look, of course, they continue to do research. And again, there's already 2,400. Even our company is starting to initiate research in the cancer area. But we really don't need FDA approval to do this, because this is not a drug. This is not something that has potential negative side effects, etc. So,
how has medical profession responded to hydrogen therapy as a way to help their patients?
yes. So, it was 2 weeks ago. We were in Chicago at the huge cancer convention. Last month, we were in Denver at the National Neurology Convention. So what we're doing, we really are trying to educate the healthcare professionals on what this can do as an option, as a synergistic option to their current treatments. And obviously, because we're at those conventions and we talk to medical professions, we really are putting the research out there. We're not making any claims, but we're saying, look, here's the research on cancer. Here's the research on what it does with inflammation. Here's the research on what it does with neurodegenerative diseases. Here's a Parkinson example. Here's this example. So we're really exposing them to a whole new idea, a whole new market of supplementary treatments that they can offer at their clinic to all their patients, to give them more hope, to get more compliance, to get better outcomes, etc. And the research proved that. And all we want to do is expose them to that research so they can use that research instead of us telling, oh, this does this for your patient. No, we just expose them to the research, trying to get familiar, and hopefully they will look into it and start using some of these modalities and therapies to give their patients more hope and get better outcomes.
Well, and any doctor that wants to help patients goes, how do I help my patient the best?
Mm-hmm.
Is it drugs? Is it hydrogen therapy? What do I do? And once you look at it, go, actually works. Boom. How do we get these machines to our patients immediately? How do we have insurance companies pay for it? How do we get things so they get better and they stay better? That's the
Correct. Yeah.
But does insurance pay for the equipment too? The insurance companies?
No, it doesn't pay for any equipment. We have commercial units, so doctors can get a unit
Awesome.
And their patients can try it and they can charge for it if they want to.
Yeah.
We got functional medicine doctors, we got regular doctors, we got all kinds of venues, we got wellness centers, we got gyms that have these units, and it's part of their membership or they charge for it, so the patients can try it. And obviously, then when the patients feel benefits, they should be said, look, you can do this on a daily basis. Here's the different units that are available. But again, there's lots of manufacturers, there's lots of units out there. You need to know a little bit what to look for. We just talked about quality, right? And so the reason I'm with HydroHeal is because we got the best and the highest quality units. There's many things we have to look at, because some people come to me, Mike, why would I spend this amount of money if I can go on Amazon and get one of those bottles that's been promoted on Facebook that says it produces hydrogen water? Well, you need to understand the differences, right? First of all, it's unstable molecular hydrogen. So when you produce it, you got to drink it immediately, because they don't do it the normal way by a form of electrolysis. They're just changing the pH of the water, which then produces molecular hydrogen as a byproduct. So it's unstable, so you got to drink it immediately, and you're really not knowing what you're getting. So that's number one. Or you can say, look, I go on a website like Alibaba and get something from China for $190. You could do that, but again, what are you getting? We don't know, right? Because it's very important. We're talking about a medical gas, even though it's safe. So it's important that you know what you're inhaling. So our unit is platinum and titanium, and the runtime is 24 hours. Many of those units that come from China, it says runtime 1 to 2 hours. What it means is their own equipment starts oxidizing in 1 to 2 hours, and now you get oxalates, and now you're inhaling all types of toxins, right? And so our unit also has 7 sensors. You can measure at any given time and find out if it's actually producing molecular hydrogen. You can find out the purity of the molecular hydrogen and all kinds of other information that you have on your unit to make sure that you are getting what you're paying for. And so there's no other units out there that are built this way, that have the sensors to show you it's molecular hydrogen, because there can be a flashy light at something and there can be some bubbling of weather going on, but do you really know what it is and how pure it is and what else you're inhaling? You don't, right? So when it comes to patient safety, as you know, doctor, is always first, and that's what we pride ourselves in, and that's why we think we have a very unique product that is actually affordable for the average person, that is safe for them to use and very effective.
And you talk about a higher quality machine that's going to work better, more efficient. It's going to cost more to make that machine. So it makes rational sense. It should cost more to buy the machine too.
Yeah, I mean, we know platinum is very expensive, right?
Yes,
So yes, it costs more, but also the company has an 8,000 hour guarantee. Nobody in this industry gives guarantees. 8,000 hours is approximate. I use it about 1,000 hours. I mean, if you use it 1,000 hours per year, that's 3 hours per day. Nobody does that. But let's say you use it 1,000 hours because you have a few family members use it. 3 family members use it an hour per day. That's 1,000 hours. So the guarantee is for 8 years. Nobody does that, right? Because the machine is robust and keeps producing.
And then basically, is it a one-time purchase, or is to buy more things afterwards to use the machine, make sure the machine's going to be more effective and work?
It's a one-time purchase. Again, it's an 8-year guarantee, so it's going to last. And there's no consumables. The only consumable is distilled water. You need to, once in a blue moon, add more water to it, because that's how the machine produces the hydrogen gas, right? It's a question that we get often. How do you produce it? Well, we have distilled water, but water is H2O. And when we go in the pool underwater, we can't get the oxygen, can we? We're not fish, because it's one molecule. But the molecule is 2 gases. It's hydrogen gas and oxygen gas. So what the machine does, it's a form of electrolysis, which separates it in hydrogen gas and oxygen. Now we have 2 gases. And then we take the hydrogen gas, which we can inhale, or we infuse the hydrogen gas back into water. So now we got H2 molecular hydrogen as a gas in the water, right? And that's how basically it produces this. So the only consumable, is a gallon of distilled water, and that's your only cost per month.
And basically, do you once you've gone through the process and separated the oxygen and the hydrogen, does half it go to inhalation, half it go to back in the water to drink?
No, you just decide. So once you put the machine on, it starts producing, right? It starts the electrolysis process. So you either inhale it, or you have a diffusion rod that's attached to the unit you put in your water. right? And it's basically the smallest micro diffusion rod on the market. And so that's why our water, if we produce it, it's stabilized. We're not changing the pH. And so that water, we don't have to drink immediately. We can put it in the fridge. We can save it for 3 or 5 or 7 days, and it still has, that 1.7 milliliters per liter of hydrogen, because that's the saturation. That's what we produce with our hydrogen water.
And do you have on your website, do you have centers, say, in different areas of say, the U.S. that have ways to test your equipment or at least try your equipment?
Ways to test? Well, no, we are at different conventions. People always can come look us up and see where you are in conventions where you actually can test it. But again, we have a meter that comes with the equipment if you buy it. So you can actually, we have the 7 centers, and we can actually measure objectively at home. Is it producing hydrogen gas? How much is it producing? What's the purity of the hydrogen gas, etc.? And no other equipment out there has that availability for you to test on what it's producing and how much it's producing.
And also on your website or somewhere else, can you find out what locations actually offered a way to practice or even try it out too?
Currently, I don't believe we have a list of practitioners that have it at the clinic. No.
Okay. Yeah, surprised somebody to have that too. So yeah, and you've done a great job with the overall show for one. Excuse me. Does it make sense to my audience now, in my mind, that it does help them get to a higher state of health? And if they're having a sickness or injury, it would make their body heal faster, correct?
Yeah, heal faster and give them hope, right? Because we know the conventional medicine outcomes, and it just gives that extra dimension, works synergistically with conventional treatments, and it does so much more. Yes, if you have cancer or dementia, you're focused on that, but it's going to help every cell in your body, and it's going to make you younger, and it's going to be preventative, but it's just going to give people hope again, is what we believe in, and that's what we're trying to do, is give people hope, especially in situations where we are faced with a detrimental conditions such as cancer or neurodegenerative diseases, etc.
And Doc, last thing to you, how does it help someone with a physical injury to their body? How does that help them heal faster, or does it?
Yeah, of course it does, right? I mean, when we talk about injuries, the pain is equals always inflammation, right? So I already talked about how it drastically affects the inflammation in our body, and it speeds up healing. When we talk about autophagy and apoptosis, right? If it can regenerate cells quicker because we have hydrogen, it will do that job,
Good. And lastly, for one too, tell us about your experience as a Olympic athlete and also training Olympic athletes. Tell about that experience. How was that?
Yeah, again, I mean, we're trying to be on the edge, and hydrogen water or molecular hydrogen inhalation is one of those things. And there's more things in the biohacking world. There's many more things that we do with the athletes. But today, I would say molecular hydrogen is one of the key things to really get that advantage as an athlete, as an entrepreneur, as an average person, because it has so many benefits to the body. And when it comes to athletes, again, it has shown to help remove lactic acid much faster, which means a much faster recovery. It postpones the fatigue. Again, it regenerates, it neutralizes free radicals. Everybody knows that athletes, when they train intensely, we produce far more free radicals than anybody else, than the average person. And therefore, we need to neutralize more free radicals. And hydrogen, not only does that inside the cell, and we didn't talk about this, but it has another benefit, right? We know that when an antioxidant like vitamin C neutralizes a free radical, the antioxidant itself becomes what? Oxidized, totally useless. It only can do it once. But what if we have a reservoir of electrons? In other words, what if we have a battery in our cells? Because the battery of our cells, we talked about mitochondria, the energy production factories, but most people don't know what the battery of our cells is. It's NADPH. NADPH. Yep. And NADPH is stimulated by what? Hydrogen. The more hydrogen we absorb in our body, the more NADPH we have. And NADPH basically is a reservoir of electrons. So let's say vitamin C donates an electron to a free radical. Now that vitamin C becomes useless. But what if we could donate that same molecule of vitamin C, another electron, and another one, and another one, and another one? Do you see how exponentially now we are neutralizing far more free radicals? And athletes really need that, something that exponentially can neutralize free radicals when they train hard. And so that's another benefit of hydrogen. So it's not only the only antioxidant that can do good inside the cell, but it can create a reservoir of electrons to help the other antioxidants outside of the cell also.
It almost, and for someone who's not maybe a Olympic athlete, or someone who's going to school, scholarship, getting paid to be an athlete, just someone who wants to work out every day but not cause an injury. That's my
Yeah,
biggest thing. How do
yeah.
we? I want to hit weights, but I don't want to tear my shoulder again. I would go for a run, but I don't want to pull my quad. Those athletes that just want to, they work out for the mental health, not just physical, to de-stress their body, but they want to make sure they're not going to cause injury. So you're helping someone at all levels of health, maybe severely on one side, sick, cancer, other side where they just want to stay healthy where they are now and get to better state of health at a slow progressive level and maintain that health with something like you offer too with HydroHeal to make your overall body stay healthy. That's the plan. So thank Dr. One too. Anything I missed on the show that you like to basically add into the show normally?
No, I think we covered the basis. Again, we're here to give people hope. Molecular hydrogen is one of those easy, applicable, safe things that you can start doing at home and will give amazing benefits. We've seen it over and over again. So
Yes.
check it out. Visit our website, hydroheal.com. That's hydro, Hydro, heal, HEAL.com. The research is there. All the information you need is there. So check it out.
And one thing to put it on the show notes too is all that links on the Facebook page, along with the YouTube will be there too, and also Instagram later on too. And one last thing I'm going to have you, Doc, when I do all my interviews, I have a quick 5-second smile so I can do that for a thumbnail. We'll get out of here. All right, my friend, stay there for 1 second. I'm going to close the show, but I'll be in the back office in a second, okay?
Yeah, sounds good.
Thanks, guys, for watching.